The long way to work out 2 to the power 4 times 2 to the 7 is writing it out in full. So 2 to the power 4 means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 4 times. That's the 2 to the power 4. We're then going to times it by 2 to the power 7, which is going to be another 7 lots of 2's. What you end up with is 2 times itself 11 times. So our answer is 2 to the power 11. There is a shortcut, however, because both of the numbers are 2's. What we can do is when you're multiplying, you can add the small numbers, which are the powers, and that's the shortcut. So instead of writing it out in full, we could have said 2 to the power 4 times 2 to the power 7. Well, 4 plus 7 is 11, and that's our answer. If you want to do the same thing for the division, this time you need to minus, and you always minus the second one from the first. So 4 to the power 10 divided by 4 to the power 2. Well, 10 take away 2 is 8, so it's 4 to the power 8. Again, this only works because it's 4 in both cases. The number has to be the same. This time, if you have to the power, the shortcut is multiplying. So we've got 7 to the power 2 to the power 4, which means we times those powers together and we get 7 to the power 8. Putting this into practice, we have to be careful. We need to split this up. This actually means 2 times y to the power 5 times 4 times y squared. So 2 times y to the power 5 times 4 times y squared. If you take the standard numbers 2 and 4, when you multiply them together, you get 8. Now take the y's. You've got y to the power 5 times y squared, and as we said earlier, the shortcut is adding the powers together. 5 plus 2 is 7, so we get y to the power 7. So your final answer is 8y to the 7. Looking at example 2, it's the same thing. If you take the numbers, 2 times 4 times 3, we do that as normal. 2 times 4 is 8, times 3 is 24. Look at the y's. You've got y to the power 5 times y squared times y. Now be careful, y on its own is actually y to the power 1. So y to the power 5 times y squared times y to the 1, we're going to add the powers together, so 5 plus 2 plus 1 is 8, which gives us y to the power 8. So our answer is 24 y to the power 8. Looking at example 3, we can see the top of it is 2 times y to the power 5 times 4y squared times 3y, which is what we did earlier, and we got 24y to the power 8. So let's put that in. We're going to divide it by 6y cubed. Again, let's look at the normal numbers first. 24 divided by 6 gives us 4. Y to the power 8 divided by y cubed. Using our indices rules from earlier, y to the power 8 divided by y cubed, well, we're going to take away the second one from the first. So 8 take 3 is 5, and it gives us y to the power 5. So our final answer is 4y to the power 5. A negative power means 1 over the rest. I think the easiest way to remember this is this. Whenever you have a negative power, just scribble it out and put the rest under a 1. So what you end up with is 1 over 4 cubed. So the answer to this is 1 over 4 cubed. Anything to the power 0 is 1. Doesn't matter what the number is, if it's to the power 0, you get 1 as an answer. When we're rounding, we always need to look at the column to the right of the place value that we're rounding for. If this is a 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4, we round down, but if it's a 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9, we round up. A cheesy way of remembering this is high 5. For example 1, we're going to round this to the nearest thousand. The thousand column, well, that's the units, tens, hundreds, thousands. The thousand column is a 3. We're going to look to the right of the 3, which is a 7. That's going to tell us if we round up or down. Because 7 is a 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9, we're going to round up. So what we're going to do is say that 3 is going to get rounded up to a 4. So we end up with 84. And then the rest of the numbers after it become zeros. So 0, 0, 0, and we get 84,000. Just take a minute to have a think. Does that look right? If I said 83,748 to the nearest thousand, yes, it is closer to 84,000 than 83,000. We're going to do a similar process with the second one. This time we want it to the nearest whole number. Nearest whole number means the nearest unit. So the unit column is this, where the 2 is. We're going to look to the right of it. The right of it is a 4. A 4 tells us we round down, in which case we keep the 2 as it is. So the 72 stays as it is. Example 3 is a little trickier. This time we're rounding it to 3 decimal places. So let's find where the third decimal place is. Well, there's decimal points, so 1, 2, 3. That first 9 is the third decimal place. We're going to look to the right of it. The right of it is another 9. Now, because this is a 9, it means we round up. So that 9 gets rounded up, it's going to become a 0. But this has a knock-on effect to that 2. Because we're rounding up, if you like, the 29 becomes a 30. So we end up with 3.4, that gets rounded up, and that also has a knock-on effect to 2, which becomes a 3. Because it says 3 decimal places, we need to put the third decimal place as a 0, even though it doesn't mean any different from 3.43.